Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You're always most welcome. Today we have another Matchbox 50th anniversary treat. They just keep on coming, don't they? Thanks to many of you, in fact, because this time again we have another one from Mr. Jon Bevan, lives down in the southeast of England, who's loaned us this kit very kindly. Another one I've never seen and never had. It's the Stuart Honey tank, the M3. Now, I always thought that these, correctly I suppose, like a lot of us, probably thought a bit of a weedy little tank and perhaps didn't excite us that much when we were younger, but it did play quite an important role, especially in North Africa and also in the Normandy campaign. They were around, but they're just a bit outgunned. They're very good for mobility though. They're very good for punching through and with infantry support. They're a very effective little tank. Very rapid and very light and very agile. Just not good at slugging it out with a tiger or a panther. But anyway, we're going to have a look at this. Now this one is a sealed example, given by 50p's, which was just propping it up. Now this one is, I think, 78. Yeah, no, it's actually a 1983, but I think it was first tooled around 78. This one is one of these, again, the 83s, as I mentioned previously. They're always shrink wrapped. They always have no window in them, and if it's an aircraft it doesn't have a stand, but not a problem here. But we have got a diorama, so let's have a look at this. This is what we like. We like a diorama and we like a figure or two, don't we? And we're getting all those things here. Now then, look at that. So we're getting a figure. It's not actually very well, perhaps they didn't choose their colours very well. They perhaps should have put the figure in the lighter colour. But anyway, we've got a Tommy, a British infantryman. We've got a tank commander here. And we've got a little bit of like a dune on either side. So definitely a desert theme here. And there we go. So on the side you've got a scheme showing you what it really should look like when you finish painting it, if you do so. And on the other side, unusually, it's got this later type where they were in a sort of a transition period where they were going from showing it unpainted to having these cartoony style, which I don't really care for, cartoony style images. And it says here, British M3 with a riveted turret, or American M3 with cast iron turret and 5 machine guns. Well, to be honest, I think I fancy the American one more. It looks a bit beefier, it looks bigger, and it's got more weapons. So what's not to like, yeah? I mean, you know, call me shallow if you will, but you know what I mean. So that's obviously the later one. So I can say for sure that the earlier the British version with the short turret was used in Africa, and the later one was used more in Normandy onwards. So we have permission from Jon, because it's sealed. My mum was nervous about opening, but he has given me permission to perform microsurgery again. So please bear with me for a moment, because I want to do it very carefully if I can. And this box is a little bit crushed, just a tiny bit, but I want to try and make sure I don't cut any more than is necessary. Very carefully indeed. And I expect we're going to have trouble getting into the flaps as well, because the flaps are usually double glued on these. There we go. That's one side, we're nearly there, and that's the other side. I should be a surgeon, shouldn't I? You don't want me as your surgeon, to be honest. Just joking. Right. Oh no problem with the flaps. This one they haven't glued it. That's good. No extra hot melt in this case. So, here we go then. Let's have a look what's inside. Doesn't want to come out. It's a bit tight. What's that one? Oh, we've got... Oh, that's very strange. We seem to have a piece... that's not a piece of diorama. I'm pretty sure that's just a rogue bit of sprue. We've also got... Okay, we've got some... bit of sprue there from the... that's very odd. That's not intended to be in the box, is it? Look at this. This is where the manufacturing standards are starting to slip in 78, I think. 83 in this case, obviously. That is off a master sprue. That's not even off the sprue that's in this box, because it's that colour, but it's like off a... Oops. It's like off a... multiple sprue tree in the factory. Anyway, it's not for me to reason why. It's Jon's property, that'll go back in the box if we can find a way to get it back in. So, where do we go from here? We've got our instructions. Here we go. So we've got a little bit of a write-up, so if you just bear with me a second, I'll give you the full story. It says here that the M3 tank was developed at the Rock Island Arsenal in 1940. It's quite late then. I thought it was earlier than that. It came from a line that began with the M1 combat car and designated the Stuart tank by the British Army, who also gave it the affectionate nickname of Honey. Don't ask me why. It first saw action in the Battle of Sidi Rezare in 1941 in the desert, where it helped to redress the balance of firepower with the German panzers. And this is when I think they were using Panzer IIs in the desert at that time. Its unprecedented speed being of a great tactical advantage. From its desert debut, it saw action in the Philippines and also throughout Europe. Yes, of course, these are the Philippines, the Americans, didn't they, in the Far East, in the Pacific War. It says here, maximum speed, 36 miles an hour. That's quite quick for a tank in 1940. Cross-country speed on the rough stuff, 20 miles per hour, still not bad. You know, what was a Tiger managing? 15 miles an hour, probably. And obviously it's got one 37mm M5 cannon or M6 gun, 4 or 2 30 cal Browning machine guns. Obviously the American version's got 4, UK version's got 2. So there we go. Now, before I open it and read it all, just go into the decals first. Get this out of the way because it's so small. I'm going to have to bring it in a bit. It's tiny. Here we go. There we are. So we've got the Royal Irish Hussars, or we've got the 1st Armoured Division of the Americans, complete with some stars, which are almost impossible for you to see. I don't know if you can make them out. Star, there they are. Just make it there. Very hard to see those. Yeah, so that's very simple. It's the Desert Rats, by the way, on the British one, because if you look, oops, if we look carefully, if the focus will come in. Can we get any closer? No. This is the symbol of the Desert Rats. It's a little rat. Don't know if you can make it out. Yep, it's a rat that's looking to the right with his tail also facing to the right. Okay, now instructions. We've got them here. There we go. Stuart Honey. Where did this Honey name come from? It's a bit of a strange one. Seems without a place on a tank, wouldn't you say? Right, let's have a look then. It's quite a small. I think. Does it say how many crew it has? Again, it doesn't tell you. I think it's a crew of 3. I think there's a commander, a gunner, and a driver. Could be wrong. It might only be 2. Okay. Here we go. So you're starting off building. It hasn't got a bathtub style, so you build up the hull, and then you're putting on all your road wheels and your return wheels, idle wheels, sprocket, dry sprocket, and the suspension going in there. Then you're building up your rubber bands, which are very small in this tank. I can tell you they're tiny. And then you're putting those on, which could be quite a fiddle, so be wary. Then you're going to build up your turret, complete with your tank commander. And then you've got, that's the Mark 1, so that's the British version, or you've got the American version here, where you don't have, it only has the British figure, so there's no figure for the Americans. Sorry about that, guys. But you do get a bigger 30 cal Browning, I think, on the back. Then you've got your 37mm cannon here, which by later war comparison is a bit of a pea shooter, really, isn't it? But anyway, it was appropriate at the start of the desert campaign, because I think the Germans had a similar sized gun, if memory serves. And then here we bring it all together, so you bring in your gun, but having built the gun and put the mantlet on, that goes on. You get your glacis plate there, you've got your top deck, bringing all that together and attaching it to, because it's like a 2 level tank, isn't it? This, it's like at two levels of height, like a 2-story building in miniature, really. And then you've got the options at the end where you build the 2 different versions. So Stuart tank has got the African gear on it, lots of spades and shovels, whereas the Stuart Sorry, yeah. So you've got different stowage boxes. That's the difference. So you've got stowage boxes at the back and the side, and then completely different shaped ones on the American tank that are a bit more sloping. And then it tells you to build up your diorama, which is in 3 pieces, which is really nice. Plus, there's a figure. That's a really nice kit, actually. I think for a tiny little thing. It's not going to be big. This is going to rival the Humber armoured car for size, isn't it? In terms of it being very diminutive. And on the back, we've got our guide. Shows the original one with the panther there. Look, that's definitely from the Mark 1 instructions. And then it shows you all the decal positions there. Very nice, like it, like it. So first of all, we've got a couple of these. Look at the size of these, they are so small. These are your tracks. They're tiny. Oh, they're also very brittle. Why are they solid? They're not actually malleable, these. Oh dear, I'm sorry, John. I didn't intend to just break that, but you'll see when you examine this kit that they're solid. So there's no way you could use them. This is not rubberized at all. It's like plastic. And it comes off a sprue that... Whoa, that's also just broken my hand. Oh my god. I'm going to get so sued for this. Oh, that's solid. And it's very, very brittle. Can you see that? This is most unusual. This is not... I'm going to handle this now very gently. I'm so sorry, John. Genuine accident. But this is rigid. I don't know how you're supposed to form that into tracks. You're not gonna. You're gonna have to get some alternative ones. How very strange. Is that, has age hardened it? I don't know why that would be. I've never seen this before in any other Matchbox armoured vehicle kit. They're always very soft, like a plastic rubber band, elasticated. This isn't. This is a... Maybe it's because it's this metallised finish. Oh my god, that's come off in my hand as well. Ah, I don't know if I should stop the video. The end has just come off as well. Not that you could use it. That's just a rigid piece of plastic, as is that. You're never going to make them into a track. Oh dear, I think I've got some apologising to do. I don't know what to say. This is the risk of live unboxing somebody else's property, isn't it? Right, we're not going to touch them anymore. I can't believe that just happened. They're just solid, and they're so brittle. So brittle, you can't even... I'm not even going to do it. Even the most minor flex and it just snaps. Absolutely unbelievable. Oh dear, I'm in a lot of trouble, I can see. It might be a case of you broke it, you bought it. I'm sorry, mate. I can't explain that though. You'll see when I send it back. You'll see what I mean. You don't even try and flex it. It just snap. It's so brittle. It's like a piece of glass. Anyway, we'll move on. God. Oh, we've had another one of those champagne smashing on the floor moments, haven't we? Classic TV. Oh dear, right, carrying on, let's make sure we don't break anything else. So, here we've got, and I like the way this is laid out, it reminds me of the earlier one. So you've got the diorama pieces at the side, and you've got a really nice chunky diorama, and they made a bit of effort with that, shaping it into like a sand dune almost, isn't it? Like a wadi. And then you've got the top of your tank here, where you can see all the riveting is very, very nicely replicated actually. Very, very nice indeed. Here you've got the front. As I mentioned, it's like a 2-step, it's got a step in it, the Honey Stuart. It's like a lower deck and an upper deck. And you can see again, you've got lots of hatch. You see the hatch for the driver there. This is where the machine gun comes out there. Yeah, it's... is that right? Is that right? Am I saying the right thing there? Is that the front or the back? No, it is, it's the front. It's a bit confusing because the artwork, the way they portray it. Then you've got obviously this 2 turret option. So you've got this British option here that's got the heavily riveted style. And over here, this is the American with a slightly taller turret. So the American M3 as they call it. And again, you've got mudguards here, lots of rivets on. See those? Really, really nice. Very, very well done. This is your gun mantlet here, isn't it? Small. Everything's small in this tank. And then you've got the top of your gun turret here. This is where the figure pops out of. Very, very nice that. It's very well moulded, very nicely conceived. Over on this side we've got the roadway, very similar to the others where it's got a shell hole in it, but it's a nice size considering it's a very small model. You don't want your model to be way bigger than the diorama, and here they haven't made that mistake. The model is smaller, which gives it depth, you know. You don't want it dwarfing the diorama. And up here, look at this, we've got the British Tommy, look, complete with his bayonet. Lee Enfield rifle and a bayonet drawn. That's wonderful, look at that. And your tank commander as well. That's nice. Then we've got all these many, whoops. Come to me, focus, the focus has gone. There we go. You've got all these stowage boxes we spoke of. And you've got the bottom of the hole there. And then we've got all the little tiny roadways. Look how small they are compared to my finger. It's very small indeed. That's my little finger as well, by the way. And then you've got they have this big idler wheel at the back, which is really disproportionately large, and then a small sprocket wheel at the front, drive wheel at the front. Then you've got your various guns. You've got your Browning here, and all of these suspension components there. So there we have it. Machine gun here, the one that pops out of the turret. Yeah, comes out of the mantlet. It's nice, isn't it? It's a nice kit actually. I do like the Tommy with his bayoneted rifle. That's really good. Yeah, that's very nice. Well, what can we say about this one? Apart from the fact that I broke it. I've never seen that before. That has got me baffled. I don't even understand it. I thought it was strange when I took it out of the box, because this was rigid. This is the sprue for the track, and it's completely rigid. And I thought, that's strange. Well, there's no way you'd ever be able to build that, even if I hadn't just broken it. As soon as you try to flex it, even with the slightest pressure, it's so brittle. I mean, it's like, you know, a stick of rock. It's just. So sorry about that, John. Anyway, I'm not going to mark it down because of that. Also strange was this lump of master sprue which has crept into the box from somewhere, and of course nobody's opened it before, so that's from the factory. I'm going to give it. What do I like about it? Pretty much everything. Apart from that, I think this is an age problem. I think it's because they went for this metallised track, which is a bit silly of them. They should have just done it in the black rubber, and it'd have been fine. So I suppose I should knock it half off. I feel a bit cheeky when I've just broken it there, but it's something. Yeah, it's in this case, it's not the decals that haven't lasted. It's that. Very odd. Never seen it before ever. It's a new one on me. That. Very curious. I'll be very careful in future with other Matchbox armour kits, especially if it's silver. The tracks, alarm bells. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10 because I do like it, and it's got a cracking diorama. It really, without the figure as well, the two figures, brings it really to life. That thing, that would build into a beautiful little kit. Really nice. So 9.5 out of 10 for me. I probably only get 1 out of 10 for breaking John's tracks from him. He'll be furious with me. God, I'm going to be so sued. Anyway, I hope the rest of you give me 10 out of 10 for entertainment value, if nothing else. Smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are a regular subscriber, ding the notification bell to get early warning of new vids coming up, especially when there's live chat. I'll try not to break anybody else's property if they send it to me. The dangers of live TV, eh? Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hope you found it entertaining and interesting. I can recommend the kit, just be wary of the tracks. You might have to replace them with something else. I don't know if there's any aftermarket for that. It probably is somewhere. But yeah, I suspect they're all like that. I don't think it'd be unique to this one. It's a seal kit, it's never seen the light of day before, so most peculiar that. Obviously that wasn't a good choice on Leslie's part, that particular type of plastic. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you all take care of yourselves. Stay tuned because there'll be more coming up very soon. In the meantime, take care. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.